Hello and welcome back to Shelf Center. This is Bryce. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If this is something you end up enjoying, you never know, it could happen. Hey, it's Tuesday, Reviews Day, and we've got another review. I've been doing pretty well so far. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm going to pat myself on the back for this. I mean, reviews are very important to me, and anyway. I'm enjoying doing the reviews. So anyway, hopefully you are too. It's been fun. Anyway, we've got book 2 in The Age of Madness by Joe Abercrombie. This is The Trouble with Peace. This is, and I can tell you right up front, my favorite in this trilogy. This was so good. There's so many twists and turns, and I think I might just be so shocked by the third one that maybe that's part of why I'm not rating it as high as this one. I probably need to reread someday because it's just so shocking. There's so many things that go on that's like, oh my gosh. But anyway, let's focus here. Trouble with Peace, that's what we're talking about. First of all, the cover. Again, and this is the rare case, I actually like the US covers better than the UK ones. So that's first a miracle. I still think the original map, with weapon, some blood, those have been really good for the first lot series in general, and so those are still my favorite. They're still the best, and I think did a lot to kind of push these books into a lot of hands, not to mention them just being really good. I guess that might have helped. I don't know. All right, now this will give you some spoilers for A Little Hatred, but we're just going to try to go as spoiler-free as possible, but I'll let you know if we get into some spoilers. But essentially, the summary. We had some big reveals at the end, well, a big reveal at least at the end of A Little Hatred. It really sets the stage. A goodly amount of things happen, but it's this is the book where it's tons of things are happening. So you have Savine Danglock kind of trying to put her life back together. You kind of got this peace, and that's why there's some trouble with it. It's a peace right now for the moment, but the problem with peace is then there's some machinations, some things going on in the background, and this one seems to be, at least maybe I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like this one's a little more political, a little more scheming, conniving than before. Not as much focus on action, even though there's plenty. Again, this is what I think why I like it so much, because it's got a lot of both. And you've still got, the North, the people in the North, you've got the Northmen, and you've got the Union itself, and it's struggling right now. The Breakers, and that's one of the struggles. And anyway, lots of things going on. I don't know if I even really described this, but it's Abercrombie. It's focused on characters here, okay? Quotes, let's do some quotes. I love Abercrombie quotes, and I literally, you have to narrow them down, and I only narrowed them down to a couple here, but I could keep going. Winning teaches you nothing, said Tunney. You see what a man really is when he loses. That's pretty true. Tomorrow came, and it was much like yesterday, just more so. I don't know why, but it's funny. Life is the misery we endure between disappointments. Okay, Abercrombie's a little grimdark, right? Did I mention that ever? But then it's difficult, isn't it, to make a passionate argument for what you already have? So boring. Whereas the delightful alternative, a bouquet of promises, a sack full of dreams, a glorious ship of fantasies, undamaged by collision with actually getting anything done? Oh man, cuts to the heart of our political climate. I mean, come on. That's spot on. And then I just love this because this just cracked me up when I read it and I was dying. So anyway, I won't hear of it, Your Eminence. You're the one man on the closed council I entirely trust. You're simply far too widely hated to make a good conspirator. Oh man, that's great. Anyway, likes versus dislikes. I liked a whole lot more than I disliked, but I have some dislikes. So anyway, and they might just be kind of carryovers from the last one, but I can actually talk about because I can go into spoilers from A Little Hatred a little bit. So anyway, likes, as always, the characters are just so real. I've mentioned this before, but they have this just this inner monologue that I feel like is just so real as a person that that you just have, and you trust that you come up. I don't know, and I do this too myself. That's why I'm like, I just see myself in these characters so much, and I think that's why, again, Abercrombie is so good at this. That that you have these sayings that you say to yourself, or just these ways of addressing things. Or so he hates hangings, right? But just so many good things. The biggest, I just like, there's so, like, where this starts and ends, and then it's so many different things. There's so many good, just kind of like twists and changes for the characters. And this is a little bit of a spoiler, so anyway, jump to the next if you don't want it, this book spoiled. But just when you think our boy Orso has it all, then you've got some reveals at the very end with who's actually kind of going to be in charge here. And it's a real George R. R. Martin move, right? Where, like, just when you think like the North's going to have something, then or some crazy thing happens that you're just like, but we had our plans. Come on. Just when you think, I mean, they ate the food at the Red Wedding, so they're fine, right? Just when you think you're fine, that's when everything goes to pot. But yeah, I guess I like political, because this one just felt like there's a lot more just political scheming and whatnot going on. I love, this is one of those things with Abercrombie, his ability to characterize so well. I've mentioned this before, but Orso is this main character, and he should be the villain. He's a spoiled, rotten brat, good for nothing, that entitled, elite, noble, that, prince of the kingdom, that's king, and you should hate him. And he's so funny, but he's so like real, and just admits his faults, like too much even almost. But he's made the villain here to the who would, I think, traditionally in a fantasy book be the protagonist. And even though we all know, like, of all the people, he's actually trying for once. He's actually trying to make it better for the little people, and also just when he's trying to do that, that's when the little people are like, no, we're rising up. Dislikes. This is the dislike that just drives me nuts. It's a miscommunication. Like, all the characters have to do is talk for like 5 seconds, and this doesn't happen, and this frustrates me to no end. And so at the end of A Little Hatred, we've got the reveal that Savine and Orso, who were lovers all throughout book 1, are actually siblings. And so it's a big reveal, and then they're not allowed to talk about it for some reason, even though they got along so well. They're like, have the same kind of this sarcastic, just hilarious banter and whatnot. They get each other so well, and it was like, but we cannot possibly talk about this thing, and I just have to say no to you being married. I'm like, which one of these people actually respects their parents? They don't act like. Anyway, that just drove me nuts. I hate that trope so much, of just like, they could have just talked. Anyway, as opposed to, there's a really great twist, it's a little bit of a spoiler, of Ricka like agreeing to help Leo Dan Brock in his war, and then totally abandoning him, again, seeing and knowing all the stuff that's going on, and actually going and taking over Carleon, which is, Stour Nightfall City, that he actually went to go help Leo Dan Brock. Anyway, it's just so, it's like, I thought that was well played. And again, you're not going to just like go out and tell everybody. You had to be a little quiet about that. Dislike, this might actually be more of a like, because it's just this character I hated, that, again, that's good characterization, but Lord Isher, man, hated that guy. Just a manipulator. All right, I've been through this, but if you liked this, you'll like, and this is an easy one, Mark Lawrence, Scott Lynch. Those are kind of the go-tos right off the top of my head. Just kind of that kind of cynical, kind of like, but some good like pithy quotes and fun quotes to just be able to talk about. Rating on this, we're going to go a 9 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. Like I said. I just did a tier list of all the Abercrombie books I've read, which is all but the short story collections. This series was S tier for me, but it doesn't quite get to the levels of The First Law. I think just because The First Law like really blew my mind with Abercrombie's ability to just take a trope and just completely twist it on its head, and he does that so well. So anyway, and this was, I think, again, it's a 9 out of 10, so I mean, it's like insanely good. But I just, and I've mentioned this before, but there's still all those same references to the Dogman, to the other people, the Northmen, the Bloody Nine gets brought up all the time. When he gets mentioned that much, you like want some payoff, I think, to see the Bloody Nine. And spoiler, you don't, unless I missed something big. And it's starting, I don't know, it's starting just to feel like, okay, we are still quoting these same guys. We're still like, they're in the highest regard. I get that, but it is kind of like, I want to see what more can we have here? All right, audiobook, Stephen Pacey. Stephen Pacey is just so good at his job. Excellent. It's like you don't even know whether, like, you just get into it. I mean, even females, because just males doing females, females doing males, often it's a struggle, and you do have to, in any event, you always have to kind of get used to the opposite gender voice. But having said that, like, you can't even, it's so seamless. And there's a lot of female voices to do here. Savine Danglokta is a huge character in this. And it's so seamless. And it's just, every character is its own unique thing. It's not just all old people have the old voice and all kids sound like this. And it's so good. Anyway, now that there was kids, I don't even know. But I might be making that up. Anyway, highly recommended, definitely on audio, but also with your own voice in your own head, because you're crazy like me. We hallucinate looking at trees. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.